Ever notice how the men who chase always lose? They text first, they compliment too much, they try to prove they're the one, and still they get ignored, ghosted, or replaced. But then there's that one guy, the quiet one. He doesn't say much, he's focused, he moves different, and somehow everyone feels his presence. Why is that? Why does he attract while others chase? Why does his silence pull attention while your effort pushes it away? Maybe it's because he's on body game. Not the shallow kind, not the gym flexing, mirror selfies type. I'm talking about the spiritual body game. The one that starts inside your mind, travels through your aura, and ends in how you walk, breathe, and exist. Let's be real for a second. Most men are too focused on what's outside them. They think attraction comes from lines, gifts, or being nice. But you know what women feel first? Your energy, your stillness, your sense of self. Because when your body moves with control, when your eyes hold calmness, when your presence speaks louder than your words, that's when attraction happens without trying. It's not about chasing, it's about being. Why do we keep thinking more effort equals more love? Why do we think constant availability means loyalty? Why do we try to prove we're good enough instead of just becoming good enough for ourselves? The truth is, the world taught men to chase, to prove, to please. But chasing is like running on a treadmill. Lots of motion, no progress. You sweat, you try, you show up every day, but you stay in the same emotional place. You never feel free, because deep down, you've built your worth on her attention, not your direction. Let me tell you something powerful. When a man masters his body, his posture, his tone, his energy, he doesn't need to chase. His presence does the talking for him. Every word, every pause, every breath radiates control. And control. That's what women notice first. It's not about abs, it's about awareness. It's not about looking strong, it's about feeling strong enough to not need to prove anything. When you're on body game, you move different. You walk into a room and don't try to impress. You simply belong there. You listen more than you talk. You act less, think more, and lead silently. And that silence, that calm silence, is what shakes the room. It tells everyone around you, for thine, I'm here, and I don't need your approval to exist. That's what makes you magnetic. That's why you don't chase, you attract. So the question is, are you moving with purpose, or are you moving with fear? Because one leads to peace, the other to pain. When your body, mind, and purpose align, your energy becomes scarce, and scarcity, that's what creates value. Not fake games, not pulling away, just living fully, intentionally, and quietly until the world leans in to understand you. This is the start of the Stoic body game, where your energy speaks first and your presence commands respect, where your absence creates desire, and your calmness builds power. Because when you're truly on body game, you don't chase women, you attract everything. The energy that speaks before you do. You ever walk into a room and before you even say a word, people just feel you? It's not magic, it's not luck, it's energy, real invisible power that travels before your body does. And here's the crazy part, women feel it instantly. They know when a man's grounded, they know when his presence has gravity, they know when he's in control, not of others but of himself. That's the essence of body game. Most men never understand. It's not about the muscles you show, it's about the energy you carry. So let me ask you this. Why do some men speak loudly but nobody listens? Why do others barely say a thing, yet everyone turns their head when they walk by? Why does one man get ignored for trying while another gets chased for doing nothing? The difference isn't looks, it's not even status, it's energy. Because when your energy is scattered, when you're anxious, overthinking, or desperate for approval, people feel it. Your body leaks insecurity, your eyes wander, your posture bends. Every movement says, I'm not sure who I am. But when your energy is grounded, still certain, your body moves slow, deliberate, calm. You take up space without forcing it. You breathe deeply. You don't seek attention, attention seeks you. And that's when attraction becomes effortless. Not because you're trying to be mysterious, not because you're acting confident, but because your energy matches peace. See, real energy doesn't need to shout. It whispers, and people still hear it. Let's talk truth for a second. Every man wants to be desired. Every man wants to be seen, but most don't realize that desire is not earned through effort, it's drawn through energy. When your energy says, "I'm full, I don't need validation," you become the kind of man who women can't figure out, and that mystery isn't fake, it's authentic. Because peace is rare, and people crave what's rare. Now this is where most men fail. They try to create attraction through talking, gifts, showing off, or overcompensating. They over-explain, they overshare, they try to convince someone to like them. But here's the paradox. Convincing energy repels, centered energy attracts. When you're calm within yourself, it's like your presence becomes magnetic. Every move feels intentional, every glance feels powerful. You don't try to be seen, you just exist boldly. Let's make it practical. Body game means being in control of your frequency. It's not just your body posture, it's how your emotions sit inside your body. You could be built, stylish, well-groomed, but if your energy's chaotic, people can sense it before you even speak. So, fix the inside first. When your energy is calm, your words become sharper, your silence becomes louder, your presence becomes heavier. That's what it means to walk in with aura. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear yourself. Here's a truth that hits hard. You can't fake energy. You can fake confidence for a few seconds, sure, but your body tells the truth, always. That's why your focus must shift from appearing strong to being strong. When your energy comes from discipline, from solitude, from knowing your worth, people don't question it. They just feel it. And women, they don't fall for words. They fall for energy that feels like safety. Not safety from danger, safety from chaos. You become the calm they want to be around. So next time you walk into a room, remember this. Your words haven't even started speaking, but your energy already did. And if that energy is grounded, calm, and sure of itself, you've already won before the conversation begins. Because when you're truly on body game, your presence becomes the conversation. When your silence becomes louder than her words, have you ever noticed how silence can suddenly shift a whole atmosphere? How one pause, one moment of stillness can speak louder than 100 sentences? That's not coincidence, that's power. Because silence isn't the absence of communication, it's the presence of control. And yet, most men are terrified of silence. They rush to fill it with noise, words, reassurance, as if the quiet might expose them. But what if I told you that the quiet is exactly where your power lives? Why do so many men panic when a woman stops texting back right away? Why do they double text, overthink, and try to fix a moment that doesn't even need fixing? Why do they crumble when she withdraws her attention, as if her silence means their worth just vanished? Why is it that so many men think presence means talking more, when in truth, presence means being comfortable doing less? See, silence is not punishment, it's a mirror, and that mirror reflects how secure you truly are. When a man is uncomfortable with silence, in a conversation, in a relationship, or in himself, it means he depends on constant validation to feel alive. He cannot rest in himself. He cannot breathe in peace, so he chases noise, emotional noise, because it distracts him from his own inner void. But a man who's comfortable in silence, that man is dangerous. Not because he plays games, but because his self-control creates a rhythm no one else can dictate. Silence is your amplifier. It magnifies your energy, your intention, your confidence. When you stop rushing to explain, defend, or chase, people lean in. They start to wonder, what's he thinking? Why isn't he reacting? And that's the beauty of it. Your silence creates mystery, but not the fake kind built on manipulation. It's the kind that comes from mastery, the quiet certainty that you don't need to prove anything. Let's go deeper. When you hold silence with calmness, not with coldness but calm awareness, you teach people how to treat you. You show them your emotional discipline. You show them that your time, energy, and focus are not free. Tone rises, teaching moment, and most importantly, you show yourself that you can live without constant approval, because here's the truth that breaks most men's illusions. Attention is not connection. Just because she's talking to you doesn't mean she's emotionally invested in you. And just because she's silent doesn't mean you've lost her. The moment you react to every silence with fear, you reveal your dependence. The moment you hold silence with composure, tone rises, teaching moment. You reveal your power. Think about this. Every king, every leader, every man who commands respect. He's not loud, he speaks little, he moves slow, he listens more than he talks, because true strength doesn't live in words, it lives in restraint. Your silence tells the world, I'm in control of me. I don't need to chase what's leaving. I don't fear what's uncertain. That's the language of a grounded man. That's the rhythm of Stoic attraction. See, silence is also your reset button. It gives you space to respond instead of react, to observe instead of absorb, to lead instead of follow emotions. Most men lose control because they never allow stillness to teach them. They fill every space with effort, effort to be liked, effort to fix, effort to prove. Transition to deeper meaning, but silence doesn't demand effort. It demands presence. When you sit with silence, you learn your emotional patterns. You begin to notice how you behave when someone doesn't give you attention. You begin to recognize whether your love is genuine or if it's based on need, and once you see that, you're no longer controlled by it. When you learn to master silence, you master your reactions, powerful close, proving the value. And when you master your reactions, you master your life. Because silence isn't emptiness, it's the container that holds your strength, your focus, and your dignity. So the next time you feel that itch to explain, to text again, to fill the gap, don't. Let silence do the work. Let your energy speak where your words would have begged, because a man who is calm in silence is a man who already won. When doing nothing does everything. Have you ever noticed that sometimes, the moment you stop trying, everything starts working? That the second you stop chasing her, she suddenly becomes curious again? That when you stop forcing energy, your presence starts speaking louder than your words? Strange, right? Because the world tells you to do more, work harder, text faster, call sooner. But what if real attraction doesn't live in your movement? What if it lives in your stillness? Why do men think that chasing harder will make her see their worth? Why do they think giving more, showing more, proving more will make her stay? Why is it that every time you try harder, she seems to pull away even further? And have you ever wondered, why does she suddenly start noticing you the moment you stop trying? Why do people seem to respect you more when you stop seeking their validation? While be time pulled milavtet. Why does peace start to return when you stop chasing control? There's a pattern hidden inside all that chaos, and most men never see it. Because society told you that doing equals progress, that to keep something you must constantly feed it. But energy doesn't work that way. Energy follows belief, and when you act from lack, you radiate need. When you move from insecurity, you leak desperation. But when you're still, composed, grounded, you radiate certainty. And certainty, that's what people feel before they even understand it. Deeper explanation. Teaching value through energy awareness. Let me explain. Every human being is an energy signal. Your body, your tone, your words, they all transmit something before you even open your mouth. When a man is frantic, always trying to get her attention, always trying to prove he's different, his energy screams insecurity, and women are masters at reading energy. They can feel when a man is giving from peace and when he's giving from fear. Still, energy is powerful energy. It's the calm eye in the storm. It says, I'm not moved by what you do. I'm centered in who I am. And that level of composure, that's magnetic. Imagine two men sitting in a room. One is restless, checking his phone, scrolling, adjusting his clothes, waiting for validation that never comes. The other sits still, calm, relaxed posture, a faint smirk. He's not performing, he's just being. Who has more gravity in that moment? It's the second man, always, because people are drawn to what they can't easily move. A man at peace with himself has a quiet authority. He doesn't fight for space, space bends around him. And that's what you must understand. When your energy is stable, the world starts adjusting to you. Value section, self-mastery and attraction. Men who chase lose polarity. Because the moment you start chasing, you switch roles. You become the pursuer, the follower of her energy. But attraction is not created by pursuit, it's created by presence. When you're on your body game, as in your physical discipline, your energy, your posture, your internal focus, you start radiating self-worth without needing to announce it. You no longer try to be attractive. You simply become the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, because his life already pulls. That's what body game truly means. It's not about looks alone, it's about the way your energy lives inside your body, the way your presence makes people feel safe and intrigued at the same time. When you move with intention, when your silence carries confidence, when your focus is rooted in purpose, you create a magnetic stillness. That stillness tells her, I'm not waiting for you to choose me, I've already chosen myself. You see, Stoicism teaches one simple truth. The man who controls his inner world controls the outer one. Still, energy is not passive energy, it's focused restraint. It's the calm control that says, I know when to move and I know when not to. When you master stillness, you stop being reactive. You no longer fall for emotional bait. You stop explaining your worth. You start letting your presence speak your worth. That's the art most men miss. They think attraction is about chasing outcomes, but it's really about embodying alignment. When your purpose is strong, your silence becomes heavy. When your standards are clear, your time becomes rare. And when your energy is still, your value becomes obvious. So here's the truth, my brother. Stillness is not doing nothing. It's doing everything without forcing anything. When you stand still in your power, you send out a message. When you stand still in your power, you send out a message, not just to her, but to the entire world, that you're not moved by validation, temptation, or fear. You are moved by purpose. That's when attraction becomes natural, because your energy no longer says, I need, it says, I choose. And people feel that difference instantly. Stillness builds gravity, and gravity makes the world orbit around you. The Untouchable Man. When your emotions bow to your command. What if I told you the most dangerous man isn't the loudest one in the room, it's the one who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't react when tested, the one whose calmness makes others uncomfortable. You see, power isn't about showing strength, it's about not needing to prove it. But here's the real question. Why do most men break the moment emotions rise? Why do they lose control when something doesn't go their way? Why do they chase women, argue over texts, spiral in overthinking, and then wonder why peace never stays? Why do you keep letting your emotions be hijacked by her mood swings? Why do you panic when she doesn't text back? Why do you overanalyze every small thing she does, even though you know it destroys your calm? And why is it that every time you try to act calm, it feels forced, like you're pretending to be stoic, but inside, your heart's racing? Why do you feel like peace is something that happens only after things go your way? You ever notice that? How you're calm when everything is perfect, but the moment something goes wrong, your entire world feels threatened. That's not control, that's dependence wearing a disguise. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you don't feel, it means your feelings don't dictate your actions. A stoic man doesn't suppress emotions, he observes them, he lets them pass like clouds, temporary, unpredictable, but harmless if you don't chase them. Because the truth is, emotions are energy. They aren't enemies, they're signals. They tell you what needs your attention. But the mistake men make is letting that signal become a storm. When you let anger, anxiety, jealousy, or fear control your choices, you hand over your power. You become reactive instead of responsive. And that's when attraction dies. Because the moment you become emotionally chaotic, you stop feeling safe to her. A woman doesn't crave perfection. She craves stability. She wants to feel your strength, not in how loud you get, but in how calm you stay. Imagine this. You're sitting with her, everything's perfect, and suddenly she pulls back. Her tone changes, she gets distant. You feel that rush of panic. That voice says, "What did I do wrong?" Now pause there. That's the exact moment where most men lose themselves. They start chasing clarity. They start explaining, apologizing, proving, over-texting. But the Stoic man, he does none of that. He breathes. He stays centered. He knows that not every silence is rejection. Sometimes it's just space. He understands that emotions, hers and his, are waves, and the man who can float through them never drowns. Control doesn't mean control over her. It means control over yourself while she's around. Because the truth is, women test not to hurt you, but to feel you. They test to see if your calm is real or just an act. So when she gets cold, or distant, or emotional, she's not testing your worth. She's testing your center. And if you lose it every time something shifts, you tell her one thing: my peace depends on you. But when you stay calm, when you choose patience over panic, when you respond instead of react, you show her something else entirely. You show her that your peace is yours, that it can't be stolen, that it's built, not borrowed. And that's when her respect deepens. That's when her attraction multiplies. The man who commands his emotions commands his world. He doesn't move in anger. He doesn't chase for validation. He doesn't beg for closure, because he knows reacting gives away energy, and energy is your currency as a man. Every emotional reaction you give to someone who doesn't deserve it is a withdrawal from your power account. Every calm silence you hold is a deposit. This is why silence can feel so heavy, because when you master emotional control, people feel it. It's intimidating. It's mysterious. Because calmness makes noise in a world addicted to reaction. Think about a time when you were deeply hurt. Maybe a breakup, a betrayal, a rejection. Your emotions were screaming for attention, but instead of reacting, you chose to breathe. You went to the gym, you worked on your goals, you stayed quiet. And days later, something magical happened. Your peace came back, your thoughts got clearer, you started feeling stronger, not because the pain vanished, but because you didn't let it win. That right there is emotional alchemy. Turning pain into power, turning reaction into reflection. That's Stoicism in action, not philosophy, practice. So remember this: your emotions aren't enemies to be killed. They're wild horses to be tamed. If you can ride them without losing direction, you win the race every time. Because emotional mastery doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear. And clarity, that's what separates boys who react from men who lead. When you stop reacting to every emotional wave, you stop being moved by the storm. You become the calm that others seek, and when your emotions bow to your command, the world follows. When your silence speaks louder than any words. What if I told you your silence can scream louder than your presence ever could? That walking away at the right time says more than 1,000 texts, calls, or explanations ever will. Sounds cold, right? But it's not. It's power. See, absence isn't rejection. It's reflection. It's the quiet force that resets everything: attraction, respect, even your own energy. But here's the question. Why do most men fear it? Why does silence feel like punishment instead of peace? Why does being unavailable feel like losing control, when in truth, it's the moment you actually gain it? Why do you panic when you're not around her? Why do you feel that itch to text, to check if she still cares, to remind her of your existence? Why do you think that the moment you step back, she'll find someone else and forget you? It's because deep down, you've been trained to believe that presence equals importance, that being constantly available equals love, that chasing equals care. But think about it, if your presence was really that valuable, would it need constant reminders? Would you have to beg for attention if your energy was rare? The truth is, what's always available loses its mystery, and what's scarce always gets valued. Absence is not about playing games, it's about creating space for reality to breathe. Because when you're always there, she doesn't have time to miss you. When you're always texting, always calling, always showing up, she doesn't get to feel your absence. And if she never feels your absence, she never feels your value. Absence is where desire grows. It's the pause between notes that makes the song beautiful. It's the gap that gives meaning to connection. You see, a man who knows when to walk away, not out of anger, but out of alignment, becomes unforgettable, because his silence holds discipline, and discipline is the loudest proof of self-respect. Imagine this. You've been spending time with her, everything's going fine, then suddenly she starts pulling back. Her replies get shorter, her calls get fewer. You feel that tension, that old instinct to chase rising again. You want to ask what's wrong, you want to fix it, but this time you don't. You step back, you let it be, you go silent, you go inward. At first it hurts. You keep checking your phone, you feel that anxiety rising. But then something strange happens. A few days later, the noise in your head fades, you start sleeping better, you feel lighter, you begin focusing on your goals again, and before you know it, your energy changes. You stop chasing peace, you become it. That's when she texts. Not because you ignored her, but because your absence made her curious. Because the man who walks away with peace becomes the man she can't stop thinking about. Scarcity isn't about pretending, it's about prioritizing. It's about saying, I have things in my life that matter, and I won't trade them for attention. When you detach, you send a signal to her and to yourself that your energy isn't free, that your time has weight, that your focus belongs to your mission first. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you centered. It shows that you're not chasing validation, you're creating gravity. Because here's the truth most men ignore. Absence doesn't destroy attraction, it reveals it. If she forgets you when you step back, that means there was no real depth to begin with. But if she starts wondering, thinking, missing, that's not manipulation, that's nature. Everything valuable is scarce: gold, time, peace, and so is a man who knows when to disappear. You see, when you go silent, it's not just about her missing you. It's about you meeting yourself again. You start noticing how much energy you used to waste, checking her status, overanalyzing her words, trying to decode emotions that weren't even yours. And once that fog clears, you realize how much of yourself you'd been giving away. You remember what it feels like to wake up with your own thoughts again. You rediscover your rhythm, your gym sessions hit harder, your goals get sharper, your mind gets calmer. That's not loneliness, that's recalibration. Because absence, true absence, isn't about losing someone, it's about finding your center. Your silence is not emptiness, it's energy. Every time you step back without resentment, you grow stronger. Every time you don't explain yourself, you become more mysterious. Every time you choose peace over reaction, you build presence. Women feel that. They sense it in your tone, in your timing, in your eyes. The man who doesn't need to prove himself radiates an aura that can't be faked. That's the essence of the body game. It's not just about muscles or looks, it's about how your stillness feels. It's when your absence becomes felt, not as punishment, but as power, not as distance, but as discipline. So next time you feel that urge to chase, to text, to fix, pause, ask yourself, is this movement coming from peace or from fear? If it's fear, wait. If it's peace, move. Because the man who acts from peace always wins, even in silence. His absence isn't a void, It's a mirror that shows others what they lost when they stopped valuing him. When you understand that, you stop fearing distance. You start trusting space, and space always pulls the right things back to you. That's when you stop chasing attention. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. Why do some men look effortless, calm, magnetic, like they don't even try, and women can't stop thinking about them? And why do others, even when they're doing everything right, somehow push women away just by trying too hard? Ever noticed how attraction dies the moment you start caring too much about being liked? How the moment you overthink every message, every move, every silence, she suddenly pulls away? Why does that happen? It's not that she doesn't see your value, it's that you stopped seeing it the moment you made her validation more important than your own peace. See, there's a strange law in human nature. The more you chase, the faster it runs. The more you try to prove, the less it believes. And the moment you need something, life seems to take it away from you. Men fall into this trap every day. They start out confident, focused, grounded, but once they meet a woman they really like, they forget who they were before her. Suddenly, their time doesn't feel like their own. Their thoughts are chained to their phone, waiting for that next reply. Their confidence? Gone. Their energy? Drained. Their self-respect? Negotiated. But here's the hidden truth most men never learn. When you detach, you don't lose her, you find yourself. And when you find yourself, she feels it, because energy doesn't lie. When you walk with purpose, she senses it. When you look calm in silence, she wonders what's on your mind. When you stop chasing attention, attention finds you. Here's what most don't get. Detachment isn't coldness. It's not you ignoring her or pretending not to care. It's you knowing that your worth doesn't depend on her response. It's realizing you were a full, powerful, complete man before she even entered the picture, so her presence doesn't define you. It simply adds to a life that's already rich. When you live like that, women feel something they can't quite explain. It's not your looks, not your words, not even your charm. It's your peace, it's your stillness. It's that unshakable energy that says, I'm good either way. That's the kind of man who doesn't chase, because chasing is what you do when you feel lack. Attraction happens when you live in abundance. Imagine this, you're in the gym, focused, headphones in, sweating through your own discipline. You're not thinking about who's watching. You're just becoming stronger. That moment, that energy, that's what women sense. She sees a man who's in tune with his own rhythm, and suddenly she wants to be part of that beat. But if that same man dropped his routine, skipped his grind, and started centering everything around her, that magnetism fades, because attraction doesn't exist in need. It breathes in independence. When you're detached, you create mystery. And mystery isn't about playing games. It's about being too busy living your purpose to explain yourself. It's about not broadcasting every thought, not rushing to fill every silence, not needing her to validate your presence. That's where power lives, in calm confidence, not chaos. A Stoic man doesn't suppress emotion, he masters it. He doesn't deny attraction, he controls it. He doesn't fear distance, he uses it. Because when you stop trying to be everything to someone, you start becoming something rare. A man who doesn't beg for attention becomes the one who gets it. So here's the paradox. When you stop trying to make her feel something, she starts feeling everything. When you stop seeking to impress, you impress effortlessly. When you stop running toward her, she starts walking toward you. Because true attraction isn't built by effort, it's built by energy. And your energy becomes powerful only when you're not desperate to share it. So ask yourself, are you building a life she wants to be part of? Or are you chasing someone to fill the emptiness you refuse to face? Because one path leads to peace, the other to pain. And the man who learns to sit with himself eventually becomes the man everyone wants to sit beside. Ever notice how the loudest guy in the room rarely gets the most respect? and how the man who speaks little somehow holds everyone's attention. Why is that? Why does silence carry more power than noise? Why does calmness attract more eyes than confidence that tries too hard? And why is it that the man who doesn't react always seems to have the upper hand? These are not coincidences, they're laws, invisible laws of energy, attention and control that only a few men ever master. Let's be real, most men don't lose women because they're unattractive. They lose them because they can't control their emotions. They panic when she takes too long to text back. They get jealous when she mentions another guy. They get anxious when she pulls away, thinking something's wrong with them. And right there in that emotional spiral, the attraction starts dying. See, women aren't testing your looks, they're sensing your stability, because stability feels like safety. And safety, that's the foundation of attraction. But here's the part no one tells you. Emotional control doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you own what you feel. You don't explode, you don't chase, you don't beg, you breathe, you pause, you watch. That silence, that moment between reaction and response, that's where a man's strength lives. Think of a storm. When lightning strikes, everyone looks. It's loud, it's bright, it's chaos. But after the storm passes, it's the mountain that still stands, unmoved, unshaken. That's what emotional mastery looks like. A Stoic man doesn't try to control others, he controls himself, and because he controls himself, he influences everything around him. When you stay calm, her emotions start sinking to your energy. When you don't react to chaos, she feels drawn to your peace. When you stop fighting for attention, you become the calm eye of her emotional storm. You see, women live in emotion. It's where they express, feel, and connect. But men live in structure. It's where we lead, build, and protect. When those two meet, something magnetic happens. Your calm becomes her curiosity. Your peace becomes her craving. Your silence becomes her obsession. But here's the trap most men fall into. They confuse emotional detachment with emotional coldness. They think being stoic means showing no emotion at all, so they shut down, go robotic, hide everything. But that's not strength, that's fear pretending to be strength. True emotional mastery isn't about being numb, it's about being centered. You can still feel deeply, love, laugh, hurt, dream, but you don't let those emotions control your direction. You steer your emotions like a captain in a storm, aware, focused, unshaken. And that's the difference between a man who owns his energy and a man who gets drained by it. Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're sitting across from her. She's upset. Her emotions are all over the place. Her tone rises. Her energy shifts. She's testing your frame without even realizing it. And you, instead of arguing, instead of matching her energy, you stay composed. You look her in the eyes, you listen, and you speak softly but firmly. She might not show it right away, but deep inside she feels it. She feels your calmness. She feels your strength. She feels your presence. Because a woman doesn't want a man who reacts to every emotion she has. She wants a man who can absorb them and still stand tall. That's what makes her trust you. That's what makes her attracted. That's what makes her follow your lead. Now understand this, emotional control is not suppression, it's direction. You redirect emotion into power, into discipline, into focus. You turn pain into purpose. You turn rejection into refinement. You turn silence into peace. That's what separates the boy who reacts from the man who leads. Because every moment you don't let your emotions own you, you're building something deeper, presence. Presence is that invisible gravity that draws people in without a word. It's when you walk into a room and people just feel you, even before you speak, and it's born from calm. It's born from the quiet strength of a man who doesn't chase energy, he commands it. So let me ask you, how often do you let emotions lead you into chaos? How often do you lose your peace because of someone else's energy? And what would your life look like if nothing outside of you could shake you again? That's emotional mastery. That's real control. That's where attraction, peace, and power begin. Because when you master emotion, you master presence. And when you master presence, you no longer chase, you simply attract. Have you ever noticed that the most magnetic men are often the ones you can't fully figure out? They don't overshare, they don't always answer right away, they're not constantly there, yet somehow they stay on your mind. Why does that happen? Why do people crave the presence of those who give less of it? Why do we value what's rare, even when we don't understand why? And how does scarcity silently create attraction, power, and mystery without a single word spoken? That's the invisible game, the body game of energy, presence and absence, where your value isn't shouted, it's felt. See, the world keeps telling men to show effort, prove your worth, be available. But here's the truth, constant availability kills attraction. The moment you're always around, always replying, always trying to please, you lose your edge, because the man who gives himself to everyone becomes background noise. But the man who chooses carefully where his time and energy go becomes the main event. Scarcity isn't about pretending to be busy. It's about being genuinely busy building something real. It's when your time has meaning. It's when your attention isn't free, it's earned. And the truth is, people chase what they earn, not what they're handed. Let me ask you something. Why do we crave what we can't fully have? Why do we dream about people who used to give us attention, but now don't? Why does the human mind value space more than saturation? Because absence forces appreciation. It creates contrast. When you're not always available, people have to think. They have to wonder. They start remembering moments, imagining your energy, missing your presence, and that's when attraction deepens, not when you're flooding them with energy, but when you've left a silence big enough to feel your absence. But here's the key, that silence only feels powerful when your life is loud with purpose. A man who disappears into nothingness loses presence, but a man who disappears into his purpose becomes more magnetic than ever. Because while you're focused on growth, on discipline, on evolving, people feel that. They sense your energy shifting, your confidence growing, your light getting stronger. And suddenly, they want to come closer to see what changed. That's the paradox. You create attraction not by chasing connection, but by deepening your own direction. Now think about it. How can someone miss you if you never leave? How can someone crave your presence if they're drowning in it daily? And how can someone value your time if you've made it feel free? When your presence is constant, it becomes background noise. But when your absence is purposeful, it becomes music. That's why you must live with intentional distance, not as a game, not as manipulation, but as a man who respects his energy, your time, your body, your focus, their currency, and the more rare they are, the higher their value becomes. You see, a man of purpose doesn't vanish to get attention. He vanishes because he's busy creating something worth attention. That's the difference between boys who pull away to get a reaction and men who move away to get results. When you're building your life, your body, your mission, you stop chasing validation because your energy already has a home. Your schedule is full of progress, not people-pleasing. And that's when your aura begins to shift. People sense it. Your silence speaks. Your focus radiates. And your absence starts doing the talking for you. Understand this. Scarcity isn't about how little you give. It's about how precisely you give. It's about knowing that every drop of your energy matters, that not everyone deserves your attention, that when you do show up it should mean something. When you operate from that place, people feel lucky to have your time, and that's how respect, admiration and attraction grow naturally, because you've stopped being a man who seeks energy and became a man who creates energy. You don't chase connection anymore, you inspire it. So the next time you feel the urge to over-explain, to prove, to stay constantly visible, pause, ask yourself, is this coming from power or from fear? Because the man who moves from fear exhausts himself chasing attention, but the man who moves from power attracts everything he needs in silence, Remember, your absence is not emptiness, it's a mirror. It shows others your worth, and it shows you who respects it. Let me ask you something real. What if you finally stopped trying to be the one for someone and started being the one for yourself? What if instead of chasing her heart, you started building your world piece by piece until she wanted to belong there? Because here's the truth. Attraction isn't built through effort. It's revealed through evolution. And that's the moment most men miss. They keep fighting to prove they're enough when the real power was always in showing that they already are. See, the final lesson in all of this isn't about absence or even attraction. It's about ownership. Owning your mind, your emotions, your direction. That's what Stoicism, that's what freedom looks like. When you're done begging for energy that should have been coming from within you, let's talk about something deep. Every man at some point faces this quiet war inside between the boy who needs validation and the man who's found peace. The boy keeps asking, "Am I enough?" The man already knows, "I am." And once you cross that line, something strange happens. You stop chasing women, and women start sensing you. Not because of your words or looks or style, but because your energy becomes steady, grounded, calm. There's no performance anymore. You don't need to act confident because you are confident. You've built it through discipline, through rejection, through walking away when it hurt, and through rebuilding yourself when no one was watching. That's what gives your aura weight. It's not mystery, it's mastery. It's mastery. And you know what? When you finally start living this way, you stop fearing loss. Because you realize nothing that's yours in alignment will ever require you to lose your peace. You stop begging to be chosen. You start choosing yourself. And the second you do, the world responds differently. People treat you differently. Even the ones who once ignored you start wondering why your energy feels untouchable. Because now your validation comes from progress, not attention. Your self-worth comes from integrity, not compliments. And your confidence comes from consistency, not chaos. Let me make this clear. Stoic detachment isn't a rejection of emotion. It's a mastery of it. It's when you can feel everything but choose not to be driven by anything. It's when you can love deeply but still walk away peacefully if that love costs your peace. That's not weakness, that's power. The world tells men to care more, but the truth, you don't need to care more. You need to care wiser. Because when your care is rooted in purpose, not desperation, everything changes. You stop reacting to her mood and start responding from your mission. You stop overgiving and start giving meaningfully. You stop proving your worth because your life itself becomes the proof. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you've built yourself body, mind, purpose. You walk into a room. You don't need to speak much. You don't need to chase anyone. People just feel you. They feel your calm, your control, your presence. That's the body game. It's not just muscles. It's energy. It's posture. It's awareness. Every move you make says one thing. I'm complete, with or without you. And ironically, that's when she wants you more, because she can feel that you don't need her to feel whole. You're already whole. Men, here's the part most won't tell you. You were never meant to chase women. You were meant to build value so great that everything meant for you naturally moves closer. You don't attract through pressure. You attract through presence, through silence, through strength, through the unshakable peace that says, I know who I am and I won't trade that for anyone. That's what the Stoics knew. That's what modern men forgot. So here's your truth, once and for all. You don't need to chase to be loved. You don't need to perform to be respected. You don't need to bend to be accepted. You only need to align with discipline, align with purpose, align with peace. Because when you're aligned, you stop chasing. And when you stop chasing, everything that's meant for you starts chasing you. You've heard the brutal truths. You've felt the sting of detachment. But now you know, freedom isn't found in control. It's found in letting go. Attraction isn't built by chasing, it's built by becoming. And peace? Peace begins the moment you stop trying to be everything and finally decide to be yourself.